Hey guys, Mike from Pedals for Shins here. I'm here with another book for you guys that I just finished. I did a blog post on it a couple days ago. I believe it was Friday. Also, happy St. Patty's Day. I'm not Irish, but happy St. Patty's Day. Book I want to go over with you guys. I covered it a little bit in detail on the blog post, but I'm also doing videos here. As you guys can kind of see, I have board game reviews. I also have other things going on with the site and everything like that. I plan to get more biking videos out pretty soon, but I got to get all the bikes in the shop and everything. Also, there's going to be a couple more announcements coming on as the days go on. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a challenge thing. Anyway, we'll go into that later. But anyway, so the book that I want to go over is called The Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning is written by Hal Elrod. It is the 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 a.m. I had started to read this book after I had finished reading Crushing It, which is right up there. This book I really enjoyed. It offered a lot of good insight. What actually had me getting into reading it was my wife had said, you do kind of some of these things in this book already. And I was like, oh, well, I'll read it. I mean, looking through, it was a quick read. It was 167 pages. I probably could have got through it in like a day or so, but kind of wanted to savor it, kind of want to enjoy it. I don't really read for quantity. I more read for quality. This was a good book. In the book, he goes over, he starts out about what happened to him when he had started. He was working really high-paying job. He was with his girlfriend at the time. They had gotten in a car accident. He was not able to work. With him not being able to work, and he was in the hospital, he became depressed. He felt like he didn't have control of his life. So, even though he actually was his happiest, he ended up becoming happier that he wasn't working and that he was unable to work that job that was actually making him miserable. So he also had thought about what can he do to make his life better? What can he do to do other things? So he was talking to many other people that do things, and what he ended up coming up with, being that his life was getting busier, he was like, well, what can I do to maximize my mornings? What can I do to try and get everything done that I need to get done before I go to work or after work? So he was, kicking around ideas like maybe I should go and do stuff after work. But he's like, well, that's kind of time with my wife or time with my significant other that I don't have time. It's basically taking away time after work. So from there, he also decided, well, maybe I can do it during the day. Doesn't really work if you're at work. So he said, you know what, maybe I can get up in the morning. I get up in the morning and, get all my stuff together. So what he had done is he made a whole nother block. He would get up earlier, and he would get up like a whole hour earlier, get up, and he would drag himself out of bed. He actually became excited that he was able to get out and start doing stuff. So what he does is he tells you, create a vision board, make some affirmations about yourself, exercise, stuff as simple as drinking a glass of water in the morning. I mean, he has a whole routine, stuff you could write down, journal, sitting in silence. He has it all. Laid out for himself. And this is one of those things, like, I didn't take everything in this, like, word for word, but a lot of the stuff, which I already do, I exercise in the morning. So I get on the Peloton in the morning. To try and get, before work. If I happen to miss it, I usually get it when I get home. But I find that it's harder when I'm home. So I kind of agree with him in that. When you get up, you're fresh, you can go ahead and do that. He talks about, eating healthy food. So, I mean, eating living food like fruits, vegetables, like meat, none of that processed stuff. He talks about a lot of, it's a very good talk. He also mentions, one thing that I really liked is he talked about Jim Carrey very briefly in it, but it's something that stuck with me. When you're reading a book and you read something that kind of sticks out, well, this is one of those things for me. He said that when Jim Carrey had first started out, he actually wrote out a check. I think it was for a couple $1 million, and he had the check there because he said, one day I'm going to write that one for myself. And we all know Jim Carrey. For those of you that don't, he's a very famous actor now. He was able to write that check for himself. So that's something that I took away from it too. That if you keep working at something, which Jim Carrey did, which Hal did, and many others. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk and Crushing It. A lot of people, they put in the time and they work at it, and things come their way. And if it doesn't come right then and there, it's gonna. You just have to keep doing the work. And that's the thing is, I think when I read this, it just kind of said, he kept getting up in the morning, and it's almost like you kind of train your mind to kind of be like, you know what, I do deserve this. I do deserve to have another job, or I do deserve to have this opportunity to do this. And that's kind of what the affirmations are. And the vision boards that he tell you to make, which for those of you that don't know what a vision board is, you kind of create like a board, and you put it on like a wall, or you could put it on a piece of paper, and it's something that you look at. It's something with your aspirations in mind, stuff that you're looking for, stuff that you want to do, your goals essentially. It's a goal board. They call it a vision board. That's not something that I was really interested in doing. If I have any kind of vision board, it's usually up here in my noggin here. And I'm kind of doing it. I mean, that's what Pedals to Shins is. And I mean, reading these books are helping me during the small business phase. I mean, less than a year in, and I'm making moves here and there. But I mean, it's not all peachy keen, but you get there. So reading these really helped me out. I mean, even Gary Vaynerchuk shouting back out to that one, that had helped me out too. I've been reading a lot of these. But I want to share them with you. I mean, I'm not sharing them with you just to share them with you. I actually really enjoyed this book, and I really think, for you guys that are interested in it, I'm not sure where my wife picked this one up, but I was looking on Amazon. Amazon was cheap. I think I saw them used for like $9. I tend to buy used because you're generally saving, you're saving a tree or something, but it's a used book. It's like, how bad can it be? But yeah, so the book, I mean, he comes out and he mentions his website. He mentions his website on here, and where you can go to get a vision board like stuff, or like just to start out, like stuff to read. Or he also has like a way to like exercise in 6 minutes, stuff like that. Very good resource for anything. I mean, this doesn't have to be it's not business really related. I mean, it could be, but this is more or less time management. So it's time management when it comes to doing anything. The more you practice this, like everything else, it becomes a habit. And like I say before, the more you work at something, the more work feeds your progression. So work feeds progress, which that's my WFP on my sweatpants, and some of my shirts and stuff. But that's something that I took away from this. So I mean, this book, it is an international bestseller. Once again, that's The Miracle Morning. But really good read. There's 6 habits that he has in there. I don't have them marked in here, but I mean, really, it's really. Like, here we go. Like, for example, here he says, like, here's a snippet. So, increasing your wake-up motivation level. So, a lot of people like me, I know by the third time I'm in, like, I do 12-hour shifts. So, by, like, the third shift, I'm, like, peeling myself out of bed. It's not hard what I do. I enjoy what I do. But there's just times where you're just tired. Your body doesn't want to function, So, there's a couple things that you can do here. So, he goes over, set your intentions before bed. So, a lot of it is having that positive thought before you go to bed. So a lot of it is like mental. So he says, if you're gonna wake up, if you're gonna say you're out doing something and you're gonna get to bed late. If you have that mindset, shit, I'm not gonna get enough sleep. I'm not gonna feel good. I'm only gonna get 5 hours of sleep. And normally say you get 8. You're gonna wake up feeling like crap. Or if you're gonna say, tomorrow's really gonna suck. It's going to suck for you. So it's half of that's a mental game. So that's kind of what the setting intentions before bed. He says, one, move your alarm clock across the room. That's something I used to do. I don't do that anymore, and I can honestly tell you, hit the snooze button a little bit. Like, I'm not perfect. But he talks about a couple things. He's saying, like, one thing you could do, it's like a mindless thing. Some people say to, like, do your bed, make your bed in the morning. I can't because my wife's still sleeping, so I'm not going to make my bed unless I want to get something thrown at me. But they say one thing like brush your teeth. So, I mean, I tend to brush my teeth after I eat, but he says to brush your teeth because it's almost like a mindless thing, and maybe that'll get your body going a little bit. Like, think of a car, like, warming up, Then he says, like, drink a full glass of water. I don't think anybody, including myself, drinks enough water. What that means is, like, when you drink that first cup of water, like I mentioned before, like, that's boosting your hydration level up already. So, just simple things. The next thing is, get dressed in your workout clothes. I tend to, honestly, I'll come down in my pajamas, like my fleece pajamas or shorts sometimes, and I'll just hop on it. So usually exercising is the first thing I do. Then what's the next one? I think he only has 5. So, but that's really it. So it's like, you know, he just basically says get your workout clothes, earn your AM shower. So that's kind of things. Like he goes into a lot of things, the affirmations. Like he talks about when he was visiting some guy in, I forget where he said, I don't remember all that stuff, but I just remember the key points that I took away from it. But he says like there was a guy that was waking up in the morning and he was like yelling out of his balcony affirmations like, I deserve to be this, I deserve that, this, that. And that's something that you just, it's basically training your mind. So the book is basically trying to give you positive thoughts about yourself to move forward. And he had also said, you know, like Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins and a bunch of other people like Jim Carrey and all that stuff. They have done those affirmations. They've done all that stuff and they've worked through it. Now, I'm not saying like I read this because I want to turn into Tony Robbins or anything like that, but it's good food for thought. I mean, like every book that I've read, I've taken something out of. I could see somebody reading this book again. I don't think I'd read it again. It's good for a read or so. But I recommend it. So I mean, if I was to give it like a ranking or a star, I would say like an 8 out of 10. I mean, a fast, easy read. You could get a lot out of it. Really cool, and it's really coming from a guy that went through it himself, and he actually designed all this. So I saw that there's like there's also a community of the Miracle Morning. I guess when he had started it out, people started like filming their videos of their Miracle Morning and how their life's changed and all that stuff. So I mean, a little bit it sounds like a sales pitch in here, but I mean it's really a good read because he does offer a lot of food for thought. So once again, that's an 8 out of 10 for me on this book. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys to check it out if you want. Good easy read. You could read it on like a rainy day, or you know, read a little bit every time in the morning. That's another thing he says too. You could buy this and you could do your Miracle Morning and read a snippet of this every morning until you're done. Good stuff to think about. So once again, this is an 8 out of 10. You can find this on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, anywhere there. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below. I love how I point, like you guys don't know where it's down there. But anyway, so yeah, so check it out. Yeah, this will be a good positive read for those of you that like to read, as do I. So check it out, and once again, thank you for watching.